The very first thing I'm going to do when elected to office is I'm going to continue and promote the Independence Amendment. For those of you who haven't seen that part of our campaign, we propose the 28th Amendment to the Constitution be this: no person shall be elected, appointed, or otherwise seated to the office of senator or representative for a consecutive term if the total debt of the United States has not decreased by the end of his or her current term compared to the first day of his or her current term. We have to create lasting behavioral change in our Congress to change the future. Changing one or two people won't make the difference. We have to change their behavior, and conditional term limits will create a situation where any representative or senator who introduces a bill that will raise the national debt will be met with fierce opposition by every other one of his peers who wish to remain in office. And that's good peer pressure that will bring lasting change, that will change America for the better. And I will push it so that it gets passed in this country.
Perhaps you folks remember in President Obama's State of the Union address, he talked about making his wife the new czar to deal with childhood diabetes. And as a doctor, I know the importance of that as a public health issue. However, I think the real problem is obesity in government. And I think that we need to put government on a diet and an exercise program pronto. The first step and the real key here, I believe, is audits of the federal government and the Federal Reserve. And when I say audits, I mean finding out where the money went, how it was spent. Did we spend $500 for that screwdriver? That kind of thing. And then finding out what kind of a return on an investment we got for the dollars spent. So it's not only important to look at how much was spent, but what did we get in return? So we spent $500 and we got one screwdriver? I don't think so. When we do this, and the real fraud, abuse, and corruption and inefficiencies are shown, there will be so much public anger that for the first time in decades, we will have the necessary public support to cut the spending. Thank you.
Well, I've already told you how I'm going to start. Abolish the Department of Education. You realize that every dollar you send back there for the Department of Education, they keep 33% of that for administrative costs. Comes to our state keeps 33% for administrative costs, and you get 33% back for your school. Give that 100% to your school, and let's create competition in the schools. 2, Department of Transportation in 2007 had one employee earn $170,000 a year. Today, we have 1,690 employees earning $170,000 a year in the Department of Transportation alone. That's one department. That doesn't include retirements. It doesn't include their health benefits. We have got to get rid of government employees and their retirements and their benefits, because it is killing us. This beast that we've created, we can't satisfy its appetite anymore. That's why you see every state upside down, and you see our nation upside down. Limit government in the size and scope like our founding fathers intended.
I agree with a lot that's being said here, and I too would strive to decrease government across the board. I think we could easily handle as a nation at least 10% cut out of all the government agencies. And one pledge that I made in particular is that, and I know it's a tall order, but I made a pledge to, if I were elected to the U.S. Senate, that I would try to put a moratorium on all lobbyists for a period of 4 years to see to what extent damage they're doing to our country.
Okay, that finishes up the question round, and I guess we probably don't have time for our break. If we could have Tiffany Marshall come up, she was going to speak for a few minutes about the organization EPIC that's putting... Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Actually, it's time for the candidates' closing remarks. So maybe we should... Sorry about that. Maybe we should go in reverse order from what we did before and start with Chris Williams. And the limit there is, looks like 1 minute.
1 minute? Okay. We can talk about all the issues. Do you mind if I stand? It's just hard sitting there. You guys all know Freddie Mercury and Queen, and they have a song, We Will Rock You. You know how that beat goes? Can you just join with me? Patty, you're a good girl back in D.C. spending money with the buddies. Hello, see, you got mud on your face, you big disgrace, and we're gonna put you back into your place, saying we will stop you. Thank you.
I can only speak, I guess, for Dr. Godet and Clint, myself, and Craig. I don't know Mr. LeBlanc very well because the other four of us have been around, traveling around. And one of the things I've realized is if you were to give us a checkbox, what do you believe? We're pretty much 95% of the way there. So the question that I want to ask you again is which candidate can win this race? And I believe that I can win this race. I believe that I can defeat Patty Murray. I'm the only candidate that has any endorsements from any political figures already. We've built the largest presence in social media. We're the only, I'm the only candidate so far that has developed a national recognition. We have almost 200,000 people so far that we can reach with the touch of a button. We're out on the road. We're talking to people. We can't be playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess. And we've got to put forth a candidate who can actually win this race. I would ask you to go to chriswidener.org, notpatty.com, look at our websites, and then support us to the best of your ability. Thank you.
Just finish what I didn't get to finish. It is my mission to send an undeniable and reverberating message through Washington, D.C. and the entire country that those in Washington, D.C. work for the people and not the other way around. In order to achieve this monumental task, I need your help. I need people like you across Washington to believe in my message and help spread the word and remain engaged. In order to achieve any perceived impossibility, we must first believe that it is an actual possibility. And I know that may not make a lot of sense now because you didn't get to hear the rest of my message, but please look me up afterwards. Thank you.
I want to thank these candidates and Mr. LeBlanc for being the first time here at the first one. We've been all over the state. And I've asked these men and everybody else that's in the Senate race to make this a team effort. You see, I was once part of a team that won a Super Bowl. We can win this. It's got to be a team effort. No mudslinging on our side of the fence. We become one force in one direction. Whoever comes out of this primary, we get behind and we make sure one thing happens. We 86 Patty Murray. That was my number in the NFL. Now, how are we going to do that? I'm going to ask each and every one of you to please be that same team player. You go out and reach everyone in your inner circle, and you please talk to them. If they haven't registered to vote, get them registered to vote. If you hear somebody call us a democracy, correct them. We are a republic, and we must remember that. Get them out to vote, and let's get this thing done.
Thank you for attending tonight. By now you know more about me. You know I'm principled, passionate, and conservative. With your help, I'm ready and able to defeat Patty Murray. On issue after issue, my views are constitutional and sound and designed to limit government and promote personal liberty and freedom. I am uniquely qualified to decisively beat her on the issue of health care, and this will result in getting a lot of votes out of Puget Sound and around the state to make the difference. Support my campaign. I need donations, fundraising events, volunteers, and endorsements. I have been endorsed by Dan Kennedy, President of Washington Human Life, and Sean Bunny on the Pierce County Council, and others. But I'd like your endorsements. Visit my website, watch me debate Jim McDermott on TV regarding immigration, and get a preview of what I'm going to be like with Patty Murray, and you'll be very pleased with what you see. God bless you. Thanks for being here.
Okay, now we're going to have Tiffany Marshall come up and tell us a little bit about EPIC.